please.
External.
Apertura externa canalis carotid. That it is apertura interna, and after that, internal carotid artery goes to foramen lacerum and goes into sulcus caroticus, and at the level of optic canal it gives ophthalmic artery, and then goes upward and subdivides into terminal branches. Clear? In time, when internal carotid artery passes through carotid canal, it gives small branches into tympanic cavity. Next. So that is aortic arc, brachiocephalic trunk, left common carotid and left subclavian, right common carotid and right subclavian. And subclavian artery at the level of external edge of the first rib continues into axillary. And axillary artery then continues into, who knows? Brachial artery, and brachial artery in cubital fossa subdivides into ulnar artery and radial artery. That is axillary, it is brachial, it is ulnar and radial. Next time you will answer only axillary and brachial, and it is network in the region of elbow joint. Axillary artery, it passes in axillary cavity, and if you remember, axillary cavity has 4 walls: anterior wall, posterior, lateral, medial. It is good if you repeat walls of axillary cavity. And anterior wall has 3 triangles. It is clavicle, that is, it is sternum, that is clavicle, and here we have 2 pectoral muscles, musculus pectoralis minor and musculus pectoralis major. And between clavicle and superior border of musculus pectoralis minor, that is first triangle, remember? Almost. Clavi pectoral triangle. First, that is clavi pectoral triangle. Second triangle in projection of lesser pectoral muscle, that is pectoral triangle. Second, that is trigonum pectorale. And last, between inferior border of lesser pectoral muscle till inferior border of greater pectoral muscle, that is subpectoral triangle, trigonum subpectorale. And inferior border of greater pectoral muscle, that is the border between axillary and brachial arteries. Clear? And now, in first triangle, in clavipectoral triangle, axillary artery gives 2 branches, that is arteria thoracica superior. Arteria thoracica superior, it supplies intercostal muscles in first and second intercostal space, and the same it supplies greater and lesser pectoral muscles. And it gives arteria thoraca acromialis. And this artery supplies acromioclavicular joint and deltoid muscle. 2 branches in clavipectoral triangle. In pectoral triangle, that is second department, it gives only 1 branch, that is arteria thoracica lateralis. This artery goes to the surface of musculus serratus anterior and supplies this muscle and lateral aspect of the chest. And last, subpectoral triangle. Here it is, we have arteria circumflexa humeri posterior, arteria circumflexa humeri anterior. Both of them surround humerus, supplies shoulder joint and nearest muscles. And largest branch, that is subscapular artery, arteria subscapularis. And arteria subscapularis subdivides into two: arteria circumflexa scapula and arteria thoracoldorsalis. Arteria thoracoldorsalis, it goes to musculus latissimus dorsi and supplies it. And arteria circumflexa scapula, first of all, it goes into foramen trilaterum, that is posterior wall of axillary cavity, and it goes to dorsal surface of scapula, and there it makes anastomosis with branch of subclavian artery. What is this branch? From tyrocervical trunk, we have arteria suprascapularis, and these two arteries, suprascapular from tyrocervical trunk, and arteria circumflexa scapula from subscapular and subscapular from axillary artery, they make anastomosis. It is very good because if sometime in time of operation necessary to tie axillary artery, if you do it here, in this case, blood from tyrocervical trunk, suprascapular, circumflexa scapula, subscapular, goes to axillary and goes to brachial arteries, to radial and ulnar arteries, and supplies upper extremity. That is very important anastomosis on the hand. And this posterior circumflex, arteria circumflexa humeri posterior, it passed through foramen quadrilaterum. Look here, that is a scapular, It is glenoid cavity, and that is a humerus. And this muscle is anteriorly from scapula, that is musculus subscapularis. Below we have musculus teres major, and here it is triceps. And long head of triceps start from infraglenoid cavity, that is long head of triceps, and that is posterior wall of axillary cavity, and we can see foramen quadrilaterum and foramen trilaterum. Foramen trilaterum, that is place where arteria circumflexa scapula pass, and foramen quadrilaterum, here it is arteria circumflexa humeri posterior pass. You need to know both of these openings and their walls. Next, brachial artery. Arteria brachialis, it gives largest branch, that is deep brachial artery, arteria profunda brachii. This artery surrounds humerus, supplies posterior muscles, for example triceps and anconeus muscles, and subdivides into two: arteria collateralis radialis and arteria collateralis media, two branches in deep brachial artery. Next, arteria collateralis ulnaris superior and arteria collateralis ulnaris inferior. They are branches of brachial artery. Now, from ulnar artery, we have arteria recurrens ulnaris, and it subdivides into arteria recurrens ulnaris anterior. It makes anastomosis with collateralis ulnaris inferior, and arteria recurrens ulnaris posterior. It makes anastomosis with collateralis ulnaris superior. The same from ulnar artery, we have arteria interossa communis, and common interossal artery subdivides into anterior and posterior interossal arteries. And posterior artery gives arteria interossa recurrens, And recurrence interosseal artery makes anastomosis with arteria collateralis media from deep brachial artery. And radial artery gives arteria recurrens radialis, and arteria recurrens radialis makes anastomosis with arteria collateralis radialis from deep brachial artery. That is why in the region of elbow joint we have network that is rete articularis cubiti. And this network consists of anastomosis, and you need to answer that superior collateral ulnar artery with recurrence, arteria recurrens ulnaris posterior, inferior collateral ulnar artery with recurrens ulnaris anterior, collateralis media with recurrens interossa, and collateralis radialis with recurrens radialis. Give me your textbook. In your textbook, that is axillary and brachial. And you can see this diagram network of the elbow joint. In time of mini exam, you will not draw this diagram, but in time of our next classes on Tuesday, yes, on Tuesday, I ask you this diagram, clear? Only in time of classes. On mini exam and on final exam, not necessary to draw. But next time, next classes, I ask you this diagram. And it is in radial and ulnar artery. We will speak a lot next time about arteria ulnaris and arteria radialis, what happened with these arteries. But beginning, it is two sentences in the beginning of radial artery and in the beginning of ulnar artery. That is explanation about this recurrence artery. That is, I recommend you to read here and here, small part of this paragraph. Clear? We try to see something in preparate.